Michael Kempney, who's battled back from injuries to be back with a big club. He scores! It's a Wednesday night workout. NBC Sports Washington presents Capitals hockey. This evening, the Nashville Predators resume NHL business in D.C., where the Caps are very eager to get back to work. Just like the rest of us. Along with Craig Laughlin, I'm Joe Beninati. The Capitals have been off for 9 days. And within the Volkswagen Game Notes locker, I ask you to detail the numerous roster moves.
Well, there's never a day off for the GM when you take a look at these notes that we have for you. Called up Kempney, Copley, Alexiev. All will play tonight and get a jersey. Leeson will not. The taxi squad assignees, Johansson and Scarbosa, who just cleared waivers. On the COVID protocol list, 4 defensemen, Schultz, Jensen, Feravari, and Cholowski up front. Sprong and Vitek are all unavailable for the Caps against Nashville.
The Capitals know they're a better team when Tom Wilson's in their lineup, and he's prepped for play tonight. DC's heavy hitter returns, looking to scratch and claw against the Predators in a matter of moments at Capital One Arena. To you by Geico. Saving you money on car insurance has been in Geico's playbook for 85 years. Visit geico.com today to see all the ways you can save. By Iron Bow. Visit them at ironbow.com. And by your local Washington area Honda dealers. When you want to get more, then it has to be a Honda. Don't settle for less. Visit your local Honda dealer today. The Nashville Predators have made life miserable for the Caps the last 8 times. Doesn't matter if it's Music City or the nation's capital. There have been a lot of blank stares. So it's long overdue for Washington to turn the tables on the Preds and strike up the goal-scoring band. Next. Capital One Arena on a Wednesday night with the NHL on NBC Sports Washington. Joe Beninati, Craig Laughlin upstairs. Al Koken is your rinkside reporter as the Caps get set to square off with the Nashville Predators, who prior to their break were flying high. Great to see TJ Oshie back in blue, along with Nicholas Backstrom. The big guns for Washington returning to the playing surface. Tom Wilson, all of them in unison saying, hey, Yevgeny Kuznetsov, let's go to work. It's the Caps and the Predators tonight, the first of 2 meetings. The on-ice officials, the referees are Jake Brank and TJ Luxmore. Shandor Alfonso and Dan Kelly have the line.
Energy should not be a problem. We're energized up here in the booth. Can't wait to see this hockey game. It's been too long without a game here.
You can say that again. Since December 19th, when Washington fell to the Los Angeles Kings 3-2. Ovechkin turns, peels it on back for John Carlson. Cross ice for Dmitry Orlov. Top of the screen, you're seeing the line combinations and deep pairings as Kuznetsov waltzes in on his backhand, then turned away from Philip Forsberg. Crisscrossing with Carlson, wrister on the way, gloved and held by UC Saros.
I love the puck movement. I love the rotation from low to high, from board to board. You've got to spread out Carrier and their defensive core the rest of this night. The more the Capitals are able to do that with Big Willie in the lineup and all the big boys up the middle, the better off they're going to be to get off the schneid and get a win from against this hockey team.
Yevgeny Kuznetsov, the second leading point scorer for the Capitals, entering play today. Washington at 18-6-7, 43 points. They began the evening tied for first in the Metro with Carolina. 5 other games going on the NHL slate. Dante Fabro is 57 in the white for the visiting Predators, and they've been doing a lot of visiting since the middle of October. No team's been on the road more than this squad. And
they're winning on the road. They have 10 wins already away from their home turf.
Protas closing in, delayed offside, that's why he didn't touch it, as Nashville rewinds through center. Fabro, who played collegiately at Boston University, will dump it in there. It gets past Ilya Samsonov in cage for Washington. We're in the second minute of the opening period. This Predators squad without their MVP, defenseman Roman Josi, annually among the Norris Trophy consideration for best defenseman in the league, He's recently on the COVID list.
That's why it's going to be imperative the Capitals establish a forecheck. Without him in the lineup, it's a big void to try to fill, and it's got to be by committee. They've still got some good guys back there, but Yossi's a huge loss, and the Capitals have to take advantage.
Samsonov thought that would be icing. The linesman washed it out. Turnover here, snapshot. Trennan denied by Samsonov.
I like the aggressiveness of Sammy there, stepping out on Trennan there. Good stop.
Good stop on his Russian countryman. Long blast, that's also held by Samsonov. A bullet from Matthias Ekholm.
Yeah, it's going to be a little chaotic, I think, in both zones defensively for these teams. There's the call that they thought they were going to get. A pretty good exit pass, but there's the rip-off at the top of the circle. Trennan, a real good shot. Got it right on the wrist shot to make that play. Turn the puck over. There's the shot, blocker's side. But notice how aggressive Sammy was. Well above the paint and aggressively going to the shooter.
Ilya Samsonov, save percentage in the first period this season, 93.6, among the NHL leaders in that regard. Lars Eller lost the draw. Snapshot comes from Carrier that's sent wide. TJ Oshie, 77 in the blue. The Capitals wearing their third jerseys tonight on home ice.
TJ's got to watch his length of shifts here tonight. He hasn't played in a while, just took the morning skate and ready to go for the Caps playing that right side.
Carrier rolls it on around. Carrier and Martin Farivari are tied for first NHL plus-minus for rookies this season. Long drive whistled wide there from Tomasino. Oshie takes the carom and he'll work back for Washington. On the lead to McMichael. McMichael staved off there and shoved to the outside. The defense turned in by Alex Carrier. Orlov at point position. Skips this one down low for Lars Eller. He'll keep it humming. Ovechkin plays it top side. Caps trying to play that possession game in the five-man unit. Getting into the weave. John Carlson back at point position. Orlov sends it south of the goal line. There's Wilson. Tom Wilson rumbles back towards the point. Feeds for an Ovechkin pass. Cross ring. Carlson trying to go back door. Score! A beautiful passing play for Lars Eller.
The Capitals offense looked like it didn't take any days off. Talk about a beauty. This is a five-way passing play. Look at the deception, throwing it down low. Ovechkin to Carlson, and on the doorstep, it's a layup for Lars Eller. Talk about puck movement. It doesn't get any better than that by the Washington Capitals. That may be the only way you can beat this goaltender Saros. You got to move him around. He went to the butterfly early. No one picks up Lars. It's 1-0 Caps.
3:15 the time of the tally for Eller from Carlson and Ovechkin. Lars Eller with goals in 4 of his last 6 games, and the Capitals get on top of the Predators. Granlund looking to respond, was rattled there by Hathaway. End to end, it's Carl Hagelin on the go. Hagelin bumped off to the corner boards by Matt Benning. Predators will make a break for it. Forsberg advancing for Mikael Granlund. He was ripped off by Hathaway. Hagelin clears it onto the Nashville side of center. Big man there, Ben Harper, all 6'6" of him on the back end for the Preds, looking to Ryan Johansson. Johansson's younger brother Lucas now on the taxi squad with the Capitals, up from the AHL Hershey Bears. Kuznetsov wheels in, tries to split the gap. Harper and Fabro said no.
I hope he got a free dinner last night from his big brother here in town.
I'm not sure they would have been able to leave the hotel, right, with a new protocol.
You're right, they cannot, buddy.
Working to the outside, pinch to the boards there. Johansson looks for a loose puck. It belongs to Kuznetsov. He'll pinwheel and send out Wilson through center. 1-0 Washington before the game was 4 minutes old. Lars Eller on the board with his 6th of the campaign.
23rd time the Caps have scored first this season, the most in the National Hockey League.
Ovechkin fires again. That's armed away by UC Saros. Back through center comes Nashville. 3-on-2 developing quickly here. Shut down by Michael Kempny, 6 in the blue. Great to see the 31-year-old native of the Czech Republic back in business for Washington. Snapshot from the outside from Benning goes high, and it's into the safety netting for a whistle. The Toyota Star Trek locker, it puts the goalies in the spotlight.
Well, if you're looking for athleticism, you're looking no farther than this. These two guys can move in the crease as well as anybody. Saros for the Predators, 15-8-1, 2.22, 924 for Ilya Samsonov, 11-2-2. One of the very few goalies, I think the only goalie that's only lost twice in regulation, that has played 15 or more hockey games.
Ilya's been off since a 23-save effort in an overtime loss at Chicago. That was his last appearance. Jeannot gets pitched to the boards there, 27 in the blue. Making his Washington Capitals NHL debut is Alex Alexiev, former first-rounder. At the doorstep, it's just swept to safety and past Benning back onto the Nashville side of center. Turnover here. Backstrom fires. Saros eats it up.
Good pace to this hockey game. I hope this stands up the rest of this game, because then we're going to have a dandy. Some good offensive thrusts here. A little turnover. Nick Backstrom on the receiving end on a good forecheck of Connor Sherry. A bad turnover by Benning, the young defenseman, and Backstrom gets a good look right into the belly. Great to see Nick back. He's played all of 2 games. This is his second game of the season. He played over 18 minutes his first time out.
Picked up an assist at United Center that game against Chicago. Washington ultimately falling in overtime on a tally by Caleb Jones. 5.5 minutes deep in the opening period. 1-0 tonight. Eller from Carlson and Ovechkin. Alex Ovechkin with points in 8 of his last 9. Luke Cunnin sends it out wide for Fabro. Thrust it on around and through center. Cunnin, the former Minnesota Wild winger. Van Riemsdyk leaves for Kempny. Always a graceful skater. Michael Kempny back after 2 major injuries.
And that has to be the mental side of his game that is growing big time. He's had to fight his way in the American League. He plays every situation down there. The extra ice time coming out of camp in game situations makes him much better prepared for tonight's game.
Kempny roaring through center. His pass is off the boots of TJ Oshie.
And I don't think we've seen him. Last time we saw him a couple of years ago, I don't think he's had a haircut since.
Maybe not. The locks are flowing for number 6.
Yes, they are.
As he makes his way back to the bench, Carlson snaps it ahead. Picked off by Granlund in transition. Here comes Forsberg. Philip Forsberg on the angle. Backhands one to the slot. Brushed away by Samsonov with help from Carlson. John Carlson tape to tape, and away come the Caps. On the breakout, it's Orlov with Ovechkin. Alex throws a stiff arm out, knifing to the net. Backdoor feed. Blocked off there. Duchesne was in the shooting channel. Ovechkin with a spring in his step. Lets it fly. That's broken up in front. Forsberg has time to clear.
Yeah, does he ever have his legs going? He's light on his feet to start this hockey game. Offensively there and tracking back defensively. Great shift once again for the Capitals captain. He's ready to go off.
Line change on the fly for Washington. They're out shooting Nashville 3-2 to this point as the grade 8 has a seat.
And how about the grade 8? 26 assists, leading the Capitals in that category, points and goals. That pass on that first goal was another beautiful deceptive pass from Alex. He's got his passing stick going this season.
I wasn't sure if we realized it back during that game on the 19th against LA. Ovechkin played over 27 minutes. That's a lot for a 36-year-old. On the go, Dowd closing. Dowd fires! Bad save, Saros. The net knocked from its moorings, and this is a powder keg. Hathaway's throwing punches immediately.
He wants anybody dressed in white. Went past after the defenseman, went after a forward, you name it. He dropped the pucks right away. We'll see how they dole these penalties out there. Everybody was involved. McCarron and company all getting involved with Hathaway through a big hit at the end of that play.
Garnett was driven into the cage, didn't appreciate it one bit. 7 minutes, 44 seconds in. He and McCarron are separated, and they are on their way to the penalty box. Fans inside a Capital One arena appreciative of this quick start from Washington.
Nashville, number 47, 2 minutes for interference.
The lone call comes to McCarron. Washington gets the power play here. With this 1-0 hockey game, and Garnett Hathaway, like a caged lion, as soon as he was knocked down, he was ready to respond. TV timeout. We'll get you back. Continue this opening period with Washington to man up in just a moment.
You know, for the first quarter of the season, assistant coach Kevin McCarthy had the luxury of rolling the same 6 defensemen out there. No longer the case. I asked Kevin earlier today, with 2 new faces in his blue line lineup, how does he handle it? He says, we've got to go the same way. We've got to be a 6-man unit. He says, particularly tonight, coming off a 10-day layoff, he wants everybody to get as equal amount of ice time as possible. Now, special teams will certainly have a factor in that, but Joe and Craig expect to see Alexander Alexiev at his NHL debut get regular minutes. The same thing we've already seen from Michael Kempny tonight.
I would expect the same thing. There's a look at the big fella. I'm excited to see him. The Capitals going to the power play. They weren't happy with the ice crew. They had a strip of snow up the middle of the zone in front of Saros. Had to have them come back out. They were really wanting that zone to be nice and clean to start this power play, the first of the game.
Power play numbers that are powered by Hydro. Al Koken with that commentary, including assistant coach Kevin McCarthy, who, along with his bench boss Peter Laviolette, parts of 6 seasons in Nashville, Tennessee with the Predators. Kuznetsov glides into the offensive end, hits the brakes, looks for Ovechkin. Alex will settle it down. Carlson, Kuznetsov, then Backstrom down low on the interchange. Carlson has room to operate. Sweep it there. Ovechkin fires. Stick save by Saros. He read it beautifully.
The first time this season, the full complement of 5 players on the ice to start this power play. All the big boys that we generally see over the last 4 or 5 seasons here in Washington.
Washington man advantage group that has struggled mightily, as you can tell, bottom of the screen this month.
They really have. 1 for 19 doesn't cut it with the talent. Even with some of these guys out, they still have a boatload. We'll see how this 5-some works tonight. They've worked together for so many years. It should come naturally once they get the setup established.
Well, the entry wasn't clean there.
No.
We're more than halfway through the first man advantage. Almost 9 minutes into the opening period. Lars Eller from Carlson and Ovechkin at 3:15. Sherry sprints in. Wilson peels it back to the boards. Carlson fakes, then feeds. Ovechkin settles, snapped it wide. He may have been looking for the tip in from Wilson. Carlson sets it up, one-time blast, that's yanked high off the glass and out from Lars Eller.
Some good looks, though, on the Capitals power play. Excellent entry. They love going up the right side. That was a beautiful play coming into the zone.
1 shot on the power play thus far. The Caps are up to 5 on the counter overall, just 2 for Nashville. Eller weaving his way in, stopped there by Ekholm. Lanky defender for Nashville as Orlov fakes, feeds, Ovechkin fires, it's broken up, and it tumbled wide of the net. Sherry skids to a stop, feeds for Orlov. Orlov, then Ovechkin. Backdoor look, came right on through. He had Eller open there at the post.
Excellent block by Carrier on the Ovechkin opportunity. Pass to the front there. Pretty good penalty kill here in the first by the Predators.
They're back to even strength, 5-on-5. Orlov off the head fake. Ran out of running room there. Van Riemsdyk straight away. Another one-time blast that was denied in front. Sherry digging for the rebound, and it's swept out by the man just from the box, McCarron.
And those are the little plays you'll look back on. You've got to win those loose puck battles, and the Caps and Predators are both hungry teams, so you've got to battle for that puck. The Capitals were able to fidget that puck, but Nashville just won it to get out of the zone.
Capitals with 5 wins overall in their last 10 outings, tangling with a Nashville team that's won its last 7 games in a row. Hagelin off the feed, snapshot cuffed down by Saros. Saros in 7 of his last 8 games has surrendered 2 goals or less.
Won 5 straight. I mean, his movement side to side is incredible. He's not the biggest of goaltenders, so you've got to make him move.
What he is, Locker, is a master craftsman. Slap shot here, deflected. Borowiecki let it fly, 90 in the white. On the reload, looking for the tip-in try of Forsberg, who is guarded by Hathaway. Borowiecki switch it up for Benning. Snapshot on the way, deflected down, gobbled up there by Hagelin. With 8:45 to go, he turned it over. Quick centering pass, that was blocked. Duchesne dangerous in the deep slot. Benning feeds it back. Duchesne with a high tip play that went wide. 5-on-5 this end of the rink. Duchesne settles. Long drive, Benning, stick save, Samsonov. Borowiecki follows. That didn't get through the traffic And away comes Washington with Hagelin in charge, but the Caps needing a line change.
Well, that line is a handful when you put out Granlund, Forsberg, and you throw in Duchesne, who's missed the last 4 games with an upper body injury. That's a line the Capitals have to be careful with when they're defending in their own zone.
Washington, the NHL's best goal differential 5-on-5. It was a 5-on-5 goal from Lars Eller to begin the game at 3:15. Karlsson and Ovechkin set it up splendidly. 1-0 with 7:55 to play in the first. This is icing against Washington. Locker in this Taco Bell take. We take a tour through Alexiev's bio.
Yeah, his hometown is St. Petersburg in Russia. He's a first-round pick in 2018. That was 31st overall for the Caps. He's got 4 points in 24 games with Hershey this season. Their lineup down in Hershey allows him to play a ton. He's playing a lot with Geyser and Alexiev, and Alexiev plays right a lot. He's probably more comfortable on the left side, but he's a righty. He's really worked that part of his game.
Fumbled one there in front of Samsonov. Eli Tolvanen took a wild swing and a miss, baseball style, as Connor McMichael dashes down the flank, cut off by Ekholm. In the games we've seen Nashville, Ekholm has often been the Predators' best on the blue line. He covers so much ground.
Yeah, he is. He's probably the best when it comes to defending. I think Yossi's the best getting out of his zone and passing the puck and creating offense. That's the void they have to fill tonight. It's more the offensive side.
No doubt. Yossi's one of the best all-around defensemen in the game. Cousins was flattened by TJ Oshie. Olivier comes in, dancing there to the forehand, stopped by Samsonov, who sprawled out and got a pad on that.
That was fancy by Olivier, wasn't it? And he's known more for a crasher and banger. There he showed some pretty slick hands on that little breakaway.
Recalled from AHL Milwaukee was Olivier mid-December. Here's a chance, snapshot, score! Karlsson with a BB upstairs.
While Samsonov to the rescue. That's what started this whole play. Other than that, it's 1-1. Here's Olivier. Gets a step on Karlsson, wheels his way in and tries to stuff it under the left pad. Now the Caps have control. It's Backstrom. Magic again to Karlsson. Karlsson at one end defending, at the other end offending and scoring. Top shelf, what a play by Nick Backstrom. The pass was on the money and Karlsson puts it upstairs. 2-0 Caps.
7th of the season for John Karlsson, and the first he's ever scored against Nashville. In fact, nobody in the Washington lineup tonight on defense had ever scored against the Predators.
I think the only problem that Saros had is they moved the puck side to side on him, and he wasn't able to recover. It wasn't a howitzer of a wrist shot. It was more accurate than anything.
Snapshot chance here. Saros with a denial. Backstrom and Orlov getting the assists on the Karlsson strike. It's a multi-point performance already for John Karlsson. And a 2-0 Washington lead. Those tallies just about 10 minutes apart. Eller and Karlsson for DC. 6 minutes separating us from Integrate Intermission Live with the NHL on NBC Sports Washington tonight. Joe and Craig upstairs. Al Koken's your rinkside reporter. 3 cheers for all the men and women in our technical crew. Great to be back with them as Sherry dabs at the top of his lip and mouth there. It's Forsberg angling the other way. Forsberg finagles wide. Centering pass just missing as he was looking for Borowiecki at the doorstep. One more time, Duchesne. Beautiful moves between the skates, and then he goes high. How about that stick handling exhibition? No sail for Duchesne.
Put a rope around those 3 guys.
Fantastic moves from Matt Duchesne, but so far so very good for Washington. Eller and Karlsson back to back. Than the Nashville Predators. Locker, this evening's Verizon ISO cam. Duchesne with the hands.
Yeah, and look at the hands. The pass from Forsberg to Duchesne, and then he tries to put this between his legs because he ran out of real estate, the only angle he could possibly put into the net. This is what happens when you let the players play. go to their strengths. His first 100 games with the Predators, just 19 goals. This year already 13. He's having a heck of a rebound of a season. Those are the type of plays he can make on a regular basis. That one just misfired.
Matt Duchene will be 31 in January. He's the elder statesman on this Nashville team in terms of games played. Nobody with more experience as Saros will hold on.
Yeah, Duchene, I mean, he's been a 30-goal guy a couple of times before in his career, so you all know he's a fancy Dan. Just didn't find comfort his first couple of years in Nashville. This year he has, and the trio that he's playing on can really do damage. So far, so good tonight against the Caps.
Second on the team in shots on goal for Coach John Hines, trailing only Roman Josi. Josi in COVID protocol, out of the lineup for Nashville.
Their whole coaching staff before the break was out on COVID protocol. Their whole guys, and they had to call up the Milwaukee coaches to coach their team against the Hawks.
Milwaukee head coach Carl Taylor subbed in for Hines. Roman Josi, Tommy Novak, Colton Sissons on their COVID list. We know that Washington is deep, especially with defenders nowadays. Lars Eller threw that one off of Forsberg. Forsberg, little pop fly to himself. Forsberg, stick checked well and forced back by Carlson. Fabro thought better of jumping in on the play. That will allow Orlov to breeze back through center. With a drop from McMichael, his pass clicked off of Cousins. Back come the Predators. Duchene in charge, 2-on-2. Duchene tried to push through move. Not going to beat Eller with that.
It's pretty good defense by Lars Eller. A forward playing defense against Duchene. Well done, Lars. Making sure that little slip through doesn't work for him.
Lars, who had his own stint in the COVID protocol list. Now for Washington, Sprong, Jensen, Schultz, Cholowski, Faravari, and Vanacek all sitting it out.
Laviolette has been preaching pace the last couple of practices. I've certainly seen it from his hockey team here in the first period. Good legs so far.
Kempny was tied up by Ryan Johansson. There's a penalty call coming, and it's against Nashville, although Cunning's going to try to even it up. Fellas are feeling a little frisky after all this time off. Washington and Nashville in each other's faces. Back with a Capital Power Play after this. Tonight, north of the border, a BMW Ultimate Moment.
Yeah, there's one against the Ottawa Senators. Here's two on a nice setup. Tic-tac-toe. What about a hat trick? Yeah, we're going to see the Hattie goal. Nice little slap shot. Beats that goaltender between the legs. And why not one more? A hat trick plus one. A 4-goal game, our ultimate moment tonight.
Alex Ovechkin's done it 4 times. That was the first time 14 years ago this evening. Brought to you by your Washington, D.C. BMW Centers. Ovechkin on the verge, perhaps here, of history with Johansson in the box for slashing. Another power play opportunity. Late in the frame, these power play numbers are powered by Hydro.
I'd like to see that. He got a couple of good looks on the first power play chance. He's tied with Dave Anderchuk with 274. We'll see if history happens here in the first.
Leads the league in shots on goal. Leads the league in shots on goal during the power plays. Expect him to be cranking it up soon. Ilya Samsonov this end of the rink with 5 stops. 2 goals on the board already for the Caps if you're tuning in a little late with us. Eller and Carlson have struck. Ekholm failed to clear. It bounces to the slot area. Carrier taken to the boards by Backstrom. Ekholm has room and he'll launch it all the way down.
They look pretty good so far, and the penalty kill has this Nashville team. It's not been going so well away from home. I mean, on the road, they're under 78%. The Capitals have to cash in here.
Nicholas Backstrom wanders his way through center, drops it for Ovechkin. Carlson, switch it up, TJ Oshie. Leave it in the corner to Kuznetsov. Carlson makes a break for it. John Carlson has room to operate. Rister on the way, deflected to the glass behind Saros. Ovechkin drawing defenders to him.
Man, his defenseman lost his stick trying to get to him there. That was Benning, Joe. He had the stick now from the forward.
Backstrom, seam pass for Ovechkin. Looking through that same window, back for Backstrom. He snapped it high.
He had that window because the forward went off for a stick and was a little late arriving.
Carlson was looking for the tip in there from Kuznetsov, didn't click. Ovechkin outside, power play time dwindling. Kuznetsov on his strong side. Around for Backstrom at the half board. Kuznetsov goal line extended. Carlson, one-timer! Right to the midsection of Saros. There's no rebound.
And what a good shift there on the power play. 72 seconds of zone time for the Washington Capitals. Excellent entry and setup. They had it perfectly set up. There's a beautiful seam pass by Kuznetsov. And John Carlson, did he ever unload that? Because he's in the perfect scoring position. An excellent stop by Saros right into the crest.
Eller and Sherry out there with Wilson. Second wave of the man advantage. 14 seconds left in the sin bin for Ryan Johansson. Sherry, whose lone power play goal this season came in Tampa Bay. Eller spins it around. That's intercepted and taken on out. Cleared on down by Mikael Granlund, the 29-year-old Finn. Nashville, 2 for 2 on the PK. Back to even and full strength with 1:45 to go in the first. Kick there to the slot, just bounced wide by Johansson. Predators swarming out of that corner. Forsberg tried to reel it in. Dmitry Orlov will turn back.
Caps can't wait to get out of the month of December when it comes to the power play. We showed that graphic earlier. Now 1 for 21 at about 5%. It's operating at uncharacteristic for the good guys.
Deliberate clear here for Michael Kempny. Plays it on to Hagelin. Hagelin from the angle, backdoor score! Beautifully timed setup, a slam dunk for Dowd.
The Three Musketeers reunited tonight for the Washington Capitals against Hines' team, and it all starts on a beautiful D-to-D play. Indirect on the money by Kempny to Hagelin to Dowd. Kempny will get an assist, as will Hagelin. What a great play all around. D-to-D to winger to far post guy. You couldn't describe this any better. You couldn't script it as a coaching staff how to work the attack. The hard work has to be done by all 5 guys on the ice, and the net drive guy, even if the puck doesn't get there, it's an important feature of odd man breaks. Beautifully done by the Caps.
That tally for Washington at 18:52, just shy of the McNugget minute. We're there now as Hagelin steps to the outside and fires. Had it blocked by Benning. Another snapshot towards the cage that rolls wide. Should the Caps score in this final minute of the first, it would be a free 6-piece McNugget with a minimum $1 purchase on the McDonald's app. We get a whistle and more rough stuff right in front of the Nashville bench.
Yeah, they're going after the guys on that line, especially Hathaway right in front of the bench. They're really giving it to Hathaway. We'll see who gets the minor. Hathaway did nothing but skate next to the bench, and he got clobbered. The Capitals may get another power play on this situation. There they are, yipping and yapping, and Hathaway just holding down the fort. His helmet and lid off for the second time in this game, and he says, "Why are you going after me, boys?" He's had a smile on his face all game long. He couldn't wait. You can tell this guy just loves to play. Here's how it happened along the wall. There's Dowd whirling in. Here comes, there's the little pump right there by Kunin right along the wall, and that starts the whole thing. And we'll see if they separate this out and make sure they dole out the proper minor penalties. He definitely started it. If I was a referee, I'd give them both 2 for roughing.
Capitals with a 3-goal explosion in this opening period. Eller, Carlson, and Dowd. Dowd from Hagelin and Kempny for Peter Laviolette, the head coach of the Washington Caps, the former head coach in Nashville.
Washington penalty number 27, 2-minute minor for roughing. Washington penalty number 21, 2-minute minor high sticking. Nashville penalty number 5, 2-minute minor roughing.
Horrible call. They got it wrong. And so the Caps will go shorthanded here, sort of payback since they had the first 2 power plays. So the Caps will go to the PK here. Laviolette's probably a disbeliever, because I sure am.
Well, you didn't mince words.
Nope.
John Hines' team trailing by 3 in this opening period as we're getting set for Integrate Intermission Live. Craig, one thing we've seen before, when the Caps open up a big lead early in a game, they tend to lose their interest if Nashville's going to mix it up like that, that'll be good for Washington's sake. It'll keep them involved.
Absolutely. You get energy from that. You get enthusiasm on the bench. And the Capitals are still talking to the referee. They can't believe it, nor can I on this call. I mean, it all started with Kunin, the way he hit Hathaway along the wall, and then Hathaway's being whacked. And Alexiev just on the right side there, he's going to pick up the extra minor. But anytime you get in a fracas, you get your stick up anyways. And that's why I think they nicked Hathaway. And I'm just with Laviolette on this one. They got it wrong because it all started by the Predators player bumping into Hathaway.
Head coach barking his disapproval from the Washington bench. Late in the opening period, these power play numbers are powered by Hydro. Final 30 seconds of the frame. Nashville very good on the power play, especially on the road.
Only the Oilers are better.
Johansson tried to go backside look there for Forsberg. Thankfully, he shanked that.
He had an empty net there the way they moved that pill around.
15 seconds in the period, 1:35 on the man advantage. This is a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Hagelin closing in with Eller. Eller fires! Saros gets over in the nick of time.
It would have been game over for sure with a 4-0 lead. Saros comes up large. Wide open hockey here in Washington tonight. The Capitals a 3-0 lead, trying to pile on and make it 4-0 shorthanded. Hagelin's got his passing stick going. That's some pretty nice sauce there to elevate it over the defenseman's stick. Going to the net hard is Lars Eller. Those two guys have had tremendous first periods here. The Caps have skated extremely well.
Number 20 gets back to the bench for a breather. 7.6 seconds left in this first period. Face-off control for Dowd as he bumped into Carrier. The horn sounds, and it's an appreciative crowd inside of Capital One Arena with Washington 3 better than Nashville.
That first period just showed you how much we all missed hockey. I mean, that was an excellent period all around. The Caps should be able to feed off that. Their energy, their emotion, their compete, it was all there against the Preds.
Phoenix Copley there, the backup netminder for Washington, number 1 in blue. His team looked like they were number 1 in that opening period. Outstanding. Eller and Dowd with the 3 tallies, including one from Carlson. We get to integrate Intermission Live, turning it over to Alexa and Alan.
Integrate Intermission Live.
The Capitals get going early, take a 3-0 lead at the end of one. That's Alan Mam, Alexa Landestoy. This is Capitals Integrate Intermission Live. It didn't look like 10 days in between the last time the Capitals played. They came out with their legs in this first period. So, Alan, we got to get right to all the highlights in our Geico highlights. Now taking a look at all of these goals and chances for the Washington Capitals. We begin with the first goal of the night, and it's Tom Wilson working on the boards, gets it over to Alex Ovechkin, who finds John Carlson, and then gets it over to Eller, and he finishes it for the first goal of the night.
Nick Cousins is absolutely clueless on this play as Ovi throws the puck down to Carlson, who brings everyone over. Soros doesn't understand that Lars Eller's on the backside. A little while later, though, you have this melee where once again the player pushes Hathaway into the net. I always love this when the opposition does that. McCarron pushes Hathaway in, and then he gets mad at him because he falls on his goaltender. A little while later, Capitals flying down the ice. Look at the speed by Nicholas Backstrom. 2nd assist in his 2nd game of the season. The hands are still there, and what a shot. I think it goes off the stick of Ben Harper there, but what a great shot in stride by John Carlson.
Yeah, what a snipe by John Carlson. That all began with a save on Samsonov by Olivier. And then here, Orlov, Kempny, Hagelin, and then over to Dowd, and the scoring
And
continues.
what Kempny does best is when he's moving the puck, he's great at the quick up. Something he brought with him from Chicago. Throws it to Hagelin, and what a beautiful pass over to Nick Dowd, who just drives to the far post, stick on the ice. Great. The Caps were flying. The puck movement was excellent. The power play looked somewhat better, even though they didn't get a lot of shots on it. I like the look, but the Capitals had their legs moving. The referees need to get their legs moving as well because they blew that last call big time. TJ Luxmore makes a bad call on Garnet Hathaway, has no clue what he's calling in that. He just calls number 21.
Yeah, the puck don't lie is what they say. You saw the Capitals almost got that shorty there late, taking advantage of a power play for the Predators that we are not so happy about. And still to come, Lars Eller got the scoring going, his 6th of the season. We're going to hear from him coming up next. Integrate Intermission Live. Let's take a look at the first period by the numbers and our accurate game stats. The Washington Capitals outshooting the Predators during that first 20, 11-6. 2 power play opportunities, couldn't find the back of the net, but they have a 3-0 lead at the end of 20. And one of those goal scorers being Lars Eller. A few moments ago, he caught up with our very own Al Kogan.
Well, Lars, you got the scoring started tonight on a beautiful passing play. Can you walk us through how you were reading the rush up ice?
Yeah, we just had a good long shift. We got 4 fresh guys on the ice, moving the puck, moving our feet, and then eventually something opened up, and I was just trying to find some open space at the net.
You know, Lars, everybody was wondering how you guys would perform after missing 10 days without a game. Did you notice any ill effects in that first period?
No, I don't think so. If anything, you know, we had a good couple of practices, and rest is always welcome, so it looks like it benefited us.
Absolutely, Lars. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Well, Alan, you heard Lars there talking about the goal. Let's dive into our Thompson Creek window of opportunity and what you saw from the tape.
Well, just great give and goes by the Capitals, and everyone starts moving around. Excellent corner work by the Capitals on this. As the puck moves around the horn, John Carlson throws it back. The puck goes down the wall. You see everyone go. Tom Wilson, no one wants to check him. He takes his puck, squeezes it through traffic. Now, the power of Ovechkin, everyone puck watching. Nick Cousins doesn't even know where his man is. That's John Carlson. Far side, everyone's looking at John Carlson. Saros doesn't know. Eller's on the back door. Paddle down. That's just too easy of a goal. Horrible coverage by the Nashville Predators on that one, but excellent puck movement at the same time by the Caps.
You mentioned the power of Ovi. Yes, he scored goals. That's his 26th assist so far this season. Also passing it off this year, too.
Yeah, done a great job. You know, he's number 3 in scoring overall in the National Hockey League in total points, 2nd in goals. He's just been incredible all season long. And he's a passer, he's a shooter, he's Mr. Everything this year.
Alex Ovechkin can do it all, even in year 17, Mr. Everything. Well, Ilya Samsonov was looking strong in that first period for the Washington Capitals. We're looking ahead at the second when we come back.
Washington coverage of Capitals hockey tonight's being brought to you by Toyota. It's time to go Toyota. With legendary safety and reliability. Toyota, let's go places. By MGM National Harbor, celebrating 5 monumental years in the community. And brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at Live Lines, powered by PointsBet. PointsBet offers more live betting, more bet types, more cash outs, and more ways to live your bet life. So download the PointsBet app now. Use code Washington to get your first bets risk-free up to $2,000 and get in on the action for the rest of the game. Pre-game win probability, Washington at 60%, now 85%. What do you want to see from them in the second, Alan?
Just continue to try to outwork the Predators. That's a team that has no quit in them. They're 5-2-1 when trailing after the first. So you have to keep working against the Nashville Predators.
The Capitals with a hat trick of goals in the first period, looking to continue that in the second. The fans are loving it. We'll get you back to Joe Meninati and Craig Laughlin right after this.
Without the express written permission of the National Hockey League is prohibited. This NBC Sports Washington coverage of Caps hockey tonight's being brought to you by Jiffy Lube Service Centers. Keep your car road ready and visit jiffylubedc.com for locations. By MedStar Health, easy access to great health care. It's how we treat people. And by IT Cadre, innovation, transformation. IT Cadre, your vision, our purpose. Tail end of December, tail end of 2021. That first period for Washington, outstanding. A 3-0 lead over Nashville. 3 goals spread out over about 15 minutes. Folks, you can come on out and show your school pride while celebrating with your fellow college and Caps friends. Caps College Series, all tickets purchased through this special link include a limited edition Capitals hat in your school colors. Visit washcaps.com/college series for more information. With the Caps in front by 3, we get to some powerful connections. Locker, it was physical.
Yeah, it was physical, and I'd call it also a little nasty between these two clubs. Everybody trying to get their licks in, some shots from behind. Their TVR knocked down by Johansson. Things started to heat up. Good hit by Dowd. Half the ways in the middle of everything. The coaches were talked to prior to the start of this period. We'll see if some of that nastiness leaves this hockey game.
Powerful connections brought to you by Xfinity X5 internet that's more than just fast. In the second period, we begin with Nashville on the power play for another 60 seconds right now. Granlund at the half wall. Slots one. Play it on back to Carrier. Switch it up. Predators in the white jerseys get it set. Double screen in front of Samsonov. Johansson finds Granlund. Kempny there on the step out, and it's swatted away by Hagelin, who had a very strong first period.
I thought he was terrific, moving his feet, making really good decisions with the puck. Picked up a beautiful point on that pass, pinpoint pass to Dowd going to the far post.
We mentioned Nashville's success on the power play. Overall, 25.6, above 30% on the road. And when they score one, they tend to get them in bunches. They have 6 multiple power play goal games this season.
The same units out there, but they miss Yossi, Joe. I mentioned him in the first period. I mean, he has 13 power play points. I mean, he is a stud defenseman, stud offenseman, and he can control a power play.
Janot closing, fires, pad stop, rebound, score. Tucked in. Nashville gets one early before the second period is 2 minutes old.
Yeah, good play going hard to the net. But it's all Janot, the way he powers himself to get the shot, and then the follow-up on the doorstep, and absolutely no chance for the goaltender. Trennan gonna slam it between the pads. Here comes the quick up, here comes the big fella, the shot, and the follow-up cannot be controlled. And just like that, it's a 2-goal game. Trennan on the doorstep, slides it 5-hole against Samsonov.
An even strength tally for Yakov Trenin, 83 seconds into the second period, just as the Caps penalty was expiring. The deficit now 2 for visiting Nashville. 19-10-1 are the Predators, 39 points. They were tied for second in the Central when play began tonight with St. Louis, trailing Minnesota by 1. Another wrist shot snapped towards the cage that was blocked. Alex Alexiev making his NHL debut, 27 in the blue for Washington. Watching as Kuznetsov, or rather Irwin, will dump it in. The former Nashville Predator blue liner.
Spent 4 seasons with the organization.
92 Kuznetsov, 52 Irwin, working along the dasher. It's Kuznetsov putting some sauce on that. Alexiev tried to center it there for Wilson. It came on through. Ovechkin's wrist shot was fanned upon as Borowiecki skips it to the doorstep of Ilya Samsonov. Samsonov didn't play in the last game for Washington back on the 19th. A 3-2 setback to the LA Kings. Nashville's been off since December 17th. That was a 3-2 overtime win in Chicago. Compliments of Tanner Janot. Saros will keep this moving. We're 5-on-5 and just shy of the 3-minute mark in the second. NHL action back on NBC Sports Washington tonight. The Capitals scheduled to play in Detroit on Friday. Nashville on its way to Columbus for a game tomorrow.
And we'll see if they can keep the legs, both teams respectively. I thought that first period was warp speed. We'll see if it can continue after a long layoff.
Tomasino's pass taken to the corner boards by Olivier, working with Cousins. This one's jammed wide by Olivier, kept at point position by Ben Harper. Nashville goes through its cycle game, a deflection that just skipped wide of Samsonov. Trennan from Janot, 1:23 into the second, making things more interesting for Nashville after the Caps put up a 3-spot in the first.
Janot's having an excellent rookie season. They've been looking and craving for a power forward. He's the man that picked up that quick pass and got the shot away. He's been terrific for Nashville.
Fabro picked up the secondary assist on that Trennan tally. Tanner Janot, top 5 among NHL rookies in points this season. Alexei Protas for Washington in his freshman year, angled and finished by Ekholm. On the rewind, Carlson sends it out wide, teaming up with Dmitry Orlov tonight. The Capitals missing Messrs. Schultz, Jensen, and Barabori. Wilson point blank, didn't convert. Karlsson, sweep it out wide. High cycle play for Backstrom towards the goal. That's easy pickings for UC Saros.
That was a fabulous rip-off by Protas behind the net. The big fella used his wingspan to strip the puck off the defenseman. Watch 59 Protas come in. That's an excellent play against a very good defenseman in Ekholm. He's able to set up Wilson for a beautiful 10-bell chance. And Saros to the rescue, maybe went wide, just slightly caught a piece of his catching glove. Great job by Protas.
Alexei Protas, who will turn 21 in January. Kuznetsov, marked by his opposite 92, Ryan Johansson, who was buried by Wilson along the boards. A huge hit from Tom Wilson, and Borowiecki gets right in Wilson's ear.
Here they go.
Their gloves are off. Borowiecki and Wilson will go.
That's why they brought in Borowiecki. He has only played a handful of games, but he's their resident tough guy. Spent a lot of years in Ottawa.
Wilson back after missing 4 games with an upper body injury. Mostly a wrestling bout there.
Well, when you're a good fighter, you know how to grab the arms and make sure they don't get free, and both guys did exactly that. I would be surprised if they get anything more than 2 minutes roughing for each of them.
Referees tonight, Jake Brank and TJ Luxmore.
And this is what started it all. There's Tom Wilson leveling Johansson, one of their top center icemen. And that's why Borowiecki went right after him.
5 minute for fighting and a 10-minute misconduct.
Wow.
Washington penalty number 43. 5 minute for fighting.
Yep, and it's the fact that Borowiecki went after Wilson on the play and taunted him to fight. And so the Caps will get a power play out of this. That's a surprise to me. I didn't even see a fist thrown, and that's what he's saying. All they did is hold on to each other, even though they dropped the gloves.
Hell, you Clarkson guys just like to stick together. Borowiecki hit there with the instigating minor as he chortles with Wilson inside the sin bin. So Washington will have its 3rd man advantage of the night. John Hines is not pleased.
Well, the referees talked to them at the start of the game and just have everybody settle down. He started with Laviolette. He went over to Hines and he said, boys, we're not going to let things get any looser than they were in the first. And now they throw the book at him for Neri throwing a punch. There wasn't one punch thrown by Wilson or Borowiecki.
Including tonight, just 1 power play goal for the Capitals in the last 10 games. Time for that to change. Leading Nashville 3-1, early stages of the second. Karlsson plays to Kuznetsov. Yevgeny Kuznetsov hits the brakes, double teamed along the wall. Nice pass. Karlsson feeds Ovechkin, shake the one-timer. Karlsson off the reload. Kuznetsov looking to the interior. He sees Oshie there. Slot pass for Backstrom. He was knocked down rudely by Carrier. Off the boards. Ekholm just does manage to get it out.
Fans didn't like that, but they're going to let the Nashville Predators be a little more physical in front after they nicked them with that instigator penalty to their defenseman.
1:18 on the power play for Washington. Oshie feeds for Karlsson. He'll offer to Backstrom, bumped by Granlund. Karlsson walks the line. Oshie there as a safety valve. Backstrom peering through the D. Feeds, Oshie fires, stick save Saros. He'll sweep the rebound to the boards. Ekholm not enough room to clear. Karlsson snapshot on the way, off the blocker of Saros. Ovechkin tried to turn it around the corner boards. Carrier was in the way and he'll clear.
Good clear by Carrier, making sure he got loose of that puck and able to grab it and throw it down the ice.
40 seconds left in the minor for instigating against Borowiecki. On the hop comes Lars Eller with Connor Sherry through center. Delicately to the end boards. Benning is there with a good lift check. And this is spun on out. 20 seconds left on the power play. Orlov's clearing pass finds the captain. Ovechkin looking for Hathaway off of his boots. Eller will recapture. 8 seconds on the man advantage. At the line, Sherry hesitates and fires, stopped by Saros. Ovechkin at point position. Nashville back to full strength. Ovechkin's snap pass on target for Eller. 5-on-5 now. Orlov bombs away, that's deflected. Saros stayed with the change of pace, and the Predators clear. 3-1 Washington, all the Caps tallies in the opening period. Nashville responding. Trennan from Janot and Fabro here in the early stages of the second. First of 2 meetings this season between these two. The Caps will have to wait till early April to be in Music City. Tolvanen closing, saucer pass, score! Beautifully timed there from Tolvanen to Luke Kunin.
Yep, that was a good play all around. A good strike there. No chance for the goaltender. Their offense coming to life. Kunin makes a nice play. Tolvanen sets him up, and he buries it. Absolutely no chance for Samsonov. And now it's a 3-2 game. Here it goes up the middle, rink wide, out of position, going hard to the net. No one picking him up whatsoever. And the puck is in the back of the net. Talk about some sauce. That pass may be one of the best I've seen all year. Not only elevated a couple of inches, that's at least 1.5 feet off the ice, and it lands flat for the streaking winger, Tolvanen, who puts it home, and we've got a ball game.
Luke Kunin, who turned 24 this month, playing NHL game number 200. Beautifully set up by Tolvanen. It's 3-2. Granlund on the headman for Forsberg. Forsberg always so tough on the Capitals, the team that drafted him. Forsberg 7 goals in 11 games straight up against the Caps in his career. This is icing against Nashville.
What do you want from your sportsbook? The best odds? Same game parlays you can boost for even more? You want to live your bet life. New customers get risk-free bets up to $2,000.
Tale of 2 periods for Scott Arniel, Peter Laviolette, and the Caps. They were dynamite in the first. Nashville's been all over them here in the second, looking for the equalizer this trip as Forsberg makes his move. Surrounded by 3 Caps, Samsonov's going to melt this in the crease.
A little pushing and shoving once again with Forsberg and Kempny after the whistle. A lot of extracurricular activities. This game is heating up big time here in the second.
Get you back to DC in just a few moments with the NHL on NBC Sports Washington. At a 3-2 hockey game in DC. In looking at the Toyota League Leaders Locker, we see which teams have needed to play the young guys.
Yeah, 2 of them of the top 4 are right here tonight. The Sharks, the most used rookies, games-wise, 153. The Caps, 131. The Preds, 115. And the young Ducks getting it done out west with 105-man games.
Interesting that we've not yet played half of this hockey game and it's a 3-2 outing. These are 2 teams that are among the top 8 in goals against average.
Well, it's sometimes hard to find your defensive game coming off a layoff. Case in point, last night, the 3 games combined for 33 goals last night. Defense is hard to play.
Deflection score, 3-all.
High slot tip. It goes from about 4 feet high down to the ice level and goes through the pads of Samsonov. 3 for the Caps in the first, 3 in the second here for Nashville. 35 seconds after they made it 3-2. It's now a 3-3 hockey game. Good play by Fabro, moving and rotating to the middle. And there's a deflection in front of the net. Reaching in, looked like Forsberg got a piece of it and put it between the pads of the goaltender. He's had that type of year. Both nines were around one another, and with this, I think the Caps are going to huddle up, and the Caps' Laviolette's going to use his timeout early here in the second period to settle down his team.
Philip Forsberg has 10 goals in his last 13 games. That's number 14 on the season. And as Coach Laviolette gives a lecture to his mates, what was 3-zip is now 3-3.
And for Forsberg, he's a UFA at the end of the season. He's finishing up a contract at about $6 million per. So he's going to be demanding big dollars. It's going to be interesting to see if they re-up him in Nashville or they allow him to go to free agency.
Forsberg and the Predators, who've had so much success at Washington's expense in recent years. Look at this for the longest active win streak against the Caps.
I can't believe it. The Lightning do and the Blackhawks do, but there's the prickly Predators. 8 straight games they have beat the Caps.
Capitals have not beaten Nashville here since March of 2016. After Eller, Carlson, and Dowd struck in the first, Trenin, Kunin, and Forsberg. Trenin, Kunin, and Forsberg have made it 3-all. Saros gloves this one as the officials have been chirping the players for a while now, trying to get this game to settle down.
And they're going to say guard it all night long. That's just his way. I mean, he's one of the perennial best at getting under your skin. And his play after the whistle, he tries to act innocent, which most times he probably is, but sometimes plays on the edge. He can't have enough of Garnet Hathaway's.
Hathaway, who has points in his last 3 games, leads the team in hits this season. Predators control the defensive zone draw. McCarron sprinting through center with Trenin. That dump in hit the linesman to Washington's benefit as Backstrom will clear in. Ekholm using the glass to serve it on down. Trenin in the foot race. Eliminates the icing call there with his hustle. McCarron looks for Trenin. They try to rotate it for Janot. No sale. Sherry on the sprint. Connor in the midst of a career best 5-game point scoring streak.
I've liked his game. He's really slithery out of the corners because of that. 2 goals and 6 points in that 5-game streak. He's got 11 points his past 12 overall. Nice numbers.
Kempny stays strong on his stick and he'll clear. Michael Kempny in the lineup on D for Washington, up from the American Hockey League's Hershey Bears. Ditto for Alex Alexiev, who's making his NHL debut. Kempny outlasting the forecheck here, trying to get help from Van Riemsdyk. Eller sends it away for Kempny. Little give and go through neutral. Lars Eller exploring the wing. Poke checked. 4 players in the scrum. Bounce loose to Carrier as he's taken to the boards by McMichael. Cousins decelerating against TJ Oshie, whose first ever NHL game would have been against Nashville way back in the day with St. Louis. Got to go all the way back to October of '08 for TJ. Snapshot, Harper sails high. Orloff keeping tabs below the goal line. Carlson there to help.
This is their identity, and they found it here in the second, has Nashville. They've been very good at forechecking overall this season. They're hot on the puck. They play Hines' style, which is in your face, and they've got that going for themselves here in the second.
Time for a pen-fed trivia question. Which player scored his first 2 goals as a Capital the last time Washington beat the Predators? March of 2016. A long time ago.
It's a long time ago we did a game. That's a tough question to kick off.
So, Locker, that would have been the 15-16 season. I have 2 names on my chart. They are complete guesses.
I've got a grinder on my chart.
I have 2 grinders on my chart.
Okay.
I like the way you're thinking. As they get the net repositioned behind Ilya Samsonov. 3-3 game. This Washington team, we mentioned how the Caps and Predators have been solid among the goals against average leaders throughout the campaign, but now Washington has surrendered 3 or more goals in 10 of the last 14. That D has been susceptible to some leaks, and we've already addressed tonight they're playing without Schultz and Jensen and Farivari. Duchesne on the move, backtracked by Kuznetsov. He'll turn it over, and Wilson's going the other way with Ovechkin 3-on-3. Wilson crisscross on the drop. Irwin snapped it there, but this is whistled down. It was offside against Washington. We need a break. 10 minutes, 26 seconds into period 2. The Predators have responded. News, obviously, Caps faithful are bumming a bit. Our family lost a beloved 4-legged fan, Locker, on Christmas Eve. Ovi the Bulldog passed away.
Yeah, he was such an iconic dog here in town. Followed him to the Caps championship run in the Stanley Cup. We often stop by. He was so friendly, such a great dog, such a great family. Michael out in California now even traveled. When he lived here, he was a season ticket holder, and what a dog it was. 12 years of greatness for that dog.
California-based Michael Robertson announcing Ovi the Bulldog's passing recently. Just past the midway mark of the second period, a 3-3 game. The first 3 on the board for Washington, the last 3 on the board for Nashville. Shots on goal are 18-13 in favor of the guys in the blue jerseys. The Capitals wearing their 3rd sweaters tonight. Harper sends it on around. Through center, Eli Tolvanen. Tolvanen, who set up one of the goals with a beautiful saucer pass earlier in the period. He was railed along the boards. Wilson golfs at it. Kept alive along the dasher by McCarron. 47 in white's a big fella, 6'6".
Yep, he's been involved, and so is Alexiev in that shift. He's the one that took out the forward coming down the wall. I liked his aggressiveness. Alexiev using his size on that particular play defensively.
Trennan will steer it in. With Trennan's goal earlier tonight, he has tallies in 3 of his last 6. This is going to be icing against the Predators.
Yeah, here's a look at Alexiev and what he can do. He has not looked out of position here tonight. Good, hard hip check on Tolvanen, coming down the wall, trying to get a little shake and bake around him.
We've seen Dmitry Orlov do that for years. What's involved in the good timing to make that hit?
It's the pivot of the skate, Joe. You have to have the proper C-cut to push hard to the boards. And if you don't have a C-cut, you're going to be left standing. So it's the hard C-cut. He pushed perfectly to take him out totally out of the play.
Look at you with the skating technique turn.
Remember, I trained back in the day with Marcia Perry, one of the best power skaters of all time, and one of my local favorites that I still see, who lives in Crofton.
Irwin ready to roll for Washington as we're 5-on-5. Alexiev gets the center line. He'll buzz it in. Tomasino worked it on out.
She'll call me tomorrow and say it wasn't a C-cut.
That was not a C-cut.
I'll hear from her for sure.
And she'll give it to you.
Yeah, for sure.
She'll give you the lecture.
Yes, she will.
Point position, Carlson steps on down. Orlov with a screen developing. John Carlson, who had one in the first period for Washington. Hard hitting through center there. Orlov with a step up on Cousins.
That's a shot there. He should be going to the penalty box there.
Olivier was not happy with Orlov's hit. This has been an ornery game from the outset. Orlov fades, looking for Lars Eller. Eller off a sharp angle, erased there by Cousins. Nice dish. Carlson fires, stopped in front, rebound there ahead of Saros. He'll get a glove on it, and then the boys will muck it up again.
Yeah, a lot of slashing, hacking, cross-checking, you name it. Now the boys are separating. 2 guys have 1 cap in the corner there. And that looks like, is that Hathaway once again?
I'm more concerned about Harper and Orlov.
Yep.
Harper is about 6'8" on skates.
It all started on a clean hit, and they take exception to getting hit, and all of a sudden, all heck breaks loose after the whistle. We've had that all night long. Here's the hit along the wall, coming up, and that's just a good open ice hit. They take exception to the hit on Cousin. They go after him. That's Olivier getting a piece of Orlov. That should have been a penalty. The way they called the Borowiecki and Wilson fight, that could have easily have been a penalty. And here's TJ getting down, and hard hit on Tomasino of the Nashville Predators. We'll see if any penalties are doled out here in the second period.
TJ Luxmore needs some room.
Nashville penalty, number 17. Washington penalty, number 9. 2 minutes each for roughing.
They balance it out. As you can hear, Alex Ovechkin protesting to TJ Luxmore, who works together with Jake Brent
And
tonight.
it's all about the hits from behind, the cross checks, the extracurricular activities after the whistle. The double team on TJ Oshie. They've got his right arm, his left arm, and then they maul him down, and nobody gets a penalty there. It's amazing to me.
Linesmen Shander Alfonso and Dan Kelly doing their best to keep the combatants apart. After all of that, it's matching minors for roughing to Harper and Orlov. All that goes in the books at 13 minutes even of the second. Kuznetsov will meet Granlund for a neutral zone draw. Two teams with very solid records. A cross-conference clash that's level at 3 apiece.
The Predators with 19 wins outright. The Caps with 18 wins outright. Yeah, it's a clash of the heavyweights here.
Granlund took a bump from Kempny, and away comes Washington as the 4-on-4 play unfolds. Carlson stretching his legs. John lost it on the stick handle there. Then his pass was too hot to handle for Kuznetsov.
Don't get me wrong. I like the energy and the little nastiness in this game. It makes it exciting here.
I can tell your blood's boiling a little.
Oh, man, I love it. This is when you need Dale Hunter.
You haven't been in a ring for 10 days. Ovechkin not able to finagle around Johansson just yet, as Forsberg will spy on the Washington blue line. Van Riemsdyk leaves it back for Kempny. Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Another assist from Kempny on the outlet. Cross rink to his blue line buddy. Van Riemsdyk brings it in with momentum. Ran right into a double team. Gets help from Backstrom. Little give and go with Wilson. That was poke checked aside. Forsberg for the Predators. A tip-in tally, the last of which for Nashville deadlocked the game at 3. On the go, Benning. Working to the outside against Alexiev. Samsonov keeps it humming for Van Riemsdyk as the Predators are in the middle of a change. 5:25 to go in the second. Alexiev looking to Wilson. That was blocked. End to end. Janot. The trailer is Tolvanen. Tolvanen fires. Fought off by Samsonov. He couldn't find the rebound. His helmet was off. And the whistle comes.
That was a very good overlap that led to a good scoring chance for Nashville here in the second period.
Ilya Samsonov facing up to the Predators. It's 3-3 in the second. We'll get you back downtown right after these words as Samsonov shakes it off. 3 Caps and Predators. We get you to the Hyundai assist leaders locker. These defenders very helpful at the offensive end.
Yeah, they are. And Carlson, the head of the bunch, ahead of Victor Hedman, Brent Burns, and Roman Josi. 3 of the 4, Hedman, Burns, and Josi, have won the Norris Trophy. We're waiting for Big John to win one, and he's been deserving in his career. Let's hope it happens sooner rather than later.
31-year-old, 13-year pro. Points in 11 of his last 17 overall. Craig, this has been a rambunctious game. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody who's followed Nashville. Nashville and Arizona lead the league in fights with 16 this season. Thanks to our friends at Sport Radar for pointing that out for us.
Now 17 after the Borowiecki fight with Wilson, and the Caps have 3 overall this season.
4:55 to play, second period, 3 all. On the clear, Johansson through center, and he'll skip it in. Samsonov waits for the turning Kempny. On the reverse for Van Riemsdyk. Feathered ahead for Lars Eller, turned back by Carrier. 45 White is in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, that's why he plays a lot, over 20 minutes. He's been very good. Not the biggest defenseman, but really activates well.
Tolvanen puts it on the lip of the boards. Van Riemsdyk takes it, takes the hit from Granlund. Cunnen's pass was blocked away. Luke Kunin, along with Trennan and Forsberg, with tallies in the second. Snapshot blocked in front by the Washington D. This is put back onto the Nashville side. Saros gets out of there quickly to play it away from McMichael. Hathaway given a bump by Granlund. Garnet Hathaway spots Connor McMichael. Top side for Carlson. 5-on-5 play, 4 minutes to go in the second. Benning arm in arm with Hathaway. Down to the deck they go. Benning gets right in Hathaway's face and vice versa. Dowd wins the battle. Plays it on top for Orlov. Dimitri didn't get a clean handle on that. Hagelin keeps it alive. Dowd was the last man to score for Washington late in the first. Centering pass. Hagelin denied by Saros. Saros dives out. It's still loose. Carlson from the angle fires. Saros leaping back into the cage. Delayed penalty call coming up against Nashville. As it's whistled dead, the Caps go to a late second period power play.
And Hathaway is the man in the middle of everything tonight. He's going to draw the minor penalty. They were taking shots at his head as he was down on the ice, and they finally got the guy in front. And they should also get an extra minor, but the referee's going to let it away with a few extra choice words from Duchesne, who was chopping down in front of the net. He's unhappy with the call. The Capitals will go to the power play. Watch Hathaway. Beautiful pass. And then he gets clobbered here trying to go after Benning. Now watch what happens when he's down on the ice. That little shot there by Matt in front of the net, Benning, is going to send him to the box. A little punch to the head. They picked it up. They said they're going to get tougher in tight in these little scrums, and they did there in that particular instance. And it's all about Garnet Hathaway and his line grinding their way to an extra man attack coming up for the Caps.
Hathaway and the Capitals have had the last 9 days off. Garnet may need 9 days after tonight. He's been everywhere, playing a football game on skates.
That's his job. I mean, when he gets everybody hating him on the ice, they're not following the jobs. They're trying to take it out on him rather than playing defense in front of the goalie. It's great.
Power play numbers powered by Hydro. Fourth opportunity for Washington with a man advantage. Jeannot absorbs a hit from Ovechkin. Nice hustle by Oshie to keep it in until Ekholm clears. Carlson and Jeannot. Jeannot put a bump onto 74 blue.
Yeah, he's a big rig there. He played for Tim Hunter, former Capitals coach. You know how tough Tim played back in the day. He's got a little bit of that in him. He's a power forward, and he's Mr. Fitness. Talk about a guy in shape. He is a fitness fanatic, which has made him an NHLer being an undrafted player.
Just less than 90 seconds on the power play for Washington late in period 2. Nicholas Backstrom, who for so long, for 15 seasons now, has been the conductor of the power play. Of course, he missed the vast majority of this campaign, just his second game, as the Caps are playing number 32 on the year. Backstrom was rehabbing a hip injury at the outset, now hoping to get his game and the Caps power play on track. Kuznetsov finds Backstrom away from the double team. Quick centering pass. Ovechkin on his backhand. Alex scoops it on around. Backstrom has it, slowing the tempo. Tried to throw that one through the seam. It was picked off. It's Trenin the other way. Yakov Trenin, a backhand pass that was behind its target, and away comes Carlson for Washington. Backstrom on the entry. Ovechkin's the trailer. Alex Ovechkin fires. That laser beam goes high, and it bounces out of play.
Alex looks to the roof after that shot. The puck was rolling on him when it got into the curve of his stick, and he just whipped it at the net. Good transition. Carlson wide to Backstrom. Again to Carlson to Alex Ovechkin, and there's the rip. And the puck was rolling. Alex can't believe it. One more look. Nick Backstrom sets the table. A little give and go, and there's the high, hard shot. The wicked wrister by the Capitals captain.
This is the 22nd game he's played against Nashville in his career. He has 13 goals against them. 42 more seconds to operate on a power play with 2:07 to go in the second. Johansson and Eller to draw. Face-off win for Washington. Orlov will calm things down. Orlov feeds. Ovechkin fires. It's blocked at the doorstep with Sherry. It's covered by UC Saros.
Saros covers the bottom part of the net as well as any goaltender. I mean, he can really spread out along the goal line, and there he's able to recover and haul in that puck. Some good bouncing pucks here with the extra man. Look at the rotation. Just the shot to OV. Here comes the shot. You see the torque. Ricochets off the D and in front of the net. Just enough for Saros in the butterfly to be able to gobble up that rebound right in front of the net.
Lars Eller taking another draw. He wins this one. Eller took 33 faceoffs against Los Angeles last time out. Eller steps in, feeds and fires. Pad save, and it just dribbled wide. As the Predators clear, 15 more seconds on the man advantage. 33 faceoffs in one game.
Unbelievable.
That's like Patrice Bergeron or Jonathan Taves.
Or Jay Beagle back in the day.
Sure. This is the first game all season the Caps have had their 1, 2, 3, 4 centers, as Peter Laviolette would like to name them, down the middle.
And because of that, they should be much better effectively at the face-off dot. Coming into tonight's game near the bottom when it comes to home effectiveness at the dot, winning the draws.
You've had all the injuries, the COVID protocols. It's been so many times without 3 of your top 4.
Here's another good look. Nice rink-wide pass to Lars Eller. Lars Eller looking for a little redirect in front. Good play by Carrier, getting back. As you mentioned, Joe, he's been all over the place. I mean, he's working with Fabro there, gets back, makes a nice defensive play, helps out his netminder with the puck on the goal line.
Lars Eller points in 5 of his last 7. He started the scoring spree tonight. If you're tuning in a little late with us, the Caps had a 3-0 lead after 1. Nashville has tied it all in the second period. Hagelin chipped it along. Van Riemsdyk gets it out. Ekholm picking up Johansson as they get things reorganized. Matthias Ekholm, 10th full season in North America. We get into the McNugget minute of this second period. Van Riemsdyk has time to ladle this to center. Taken on the move, but at the line, it's offside against Carrier and the Preds.
Both teams trying to activate quick transitions here in this hockey game. 3 for Nick Dowd in the first, 3 for the Predators here in the second, and Carrier. And we've got a tied ball game. A lot of offense here tonight at Capital One Arena.
Nashville's been one of the best road teams all season long. Washington, no slouch. The Caps have 9 road wins. Locker told you the Predators have won 10 times away from Bridgestone Arena. They've won their last 5 on the road overall. Granlund wins the draw. Benning drives it in. 40 seconds left in this McNugget minute. Granlund off the intercept. Forsberg tied up by his opposite number 9. Orlov got some help from Sherry, and away come the Capitals. Connor Sherry down the flank. Benning's going to beat him to the loose puck. Sherry knocked him down. Granlund there to lend support. Forsberg quickly on the outlet for Harper. He'll get the center stripe and clear in. Final 10 ticks of the period. Oshie has it surrounded. TJ on the Curlin drag. 5 seconds to go. Oshie through center. As the siren sounds, ending period 2. As good as the first was for Washington, it was just that good for Nashville in the second.
And now we got 1 period to decide this game. The Capitals tied after 2 periods are 4-0-2. The Predators are 4-2 overall. Still some nastiness at the end of the period. Yeah, it's Garnett. What a game he's put together with a lot of smiles and a lot of energy.
Shocker that he's stirring it up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ilya Samsonov and the Capitals, the red, white, and blue tonight, 3-all after 40. As we get you set for Integrate Intermission Live from the stadium to the studio. Alexa Landestoy and Alan May.
Integrate Intermission Live.
3 goals for the Capitals in the first, 3 goals for the Predators in the second, as we are all tied up at the end of 40. That's Alan Mam, Alexa Landestoy. This is Capitals Integrate Intermission Live. And Alan, not the best period from the Washington Capitals. Some good looks late on the power play, but overall, not great.
They weren't paying attention to their details in the first 10 minutes of the second period. Not blocking out in front of the net, not getting in front of shot blocks or blocking shots for that matter. They've got to upgrade their skating. The Nashville Predators are an incredibly hard-working team. They're an incredible role right now. 7 wins in their last 7 games. So they don't get outworked by anyone. The Capitals have to find a way to outwork them in the third period.
No doubt about that. And things are getting chippy out there on the ice. Let's take a look at some of these Predators goals in our Geico highlights. And they got the scoring early, not on the power play, but just after time expires. They move it up ice. Fabro gets it to Jeannot. And then Trenin puts it in for the first goal.
Yeah, he finds his own rebound, just fires this one, gets to the net, and keeps the stick on the ice. But you see how they beat the Capitals to the net. The Capitals weren't dialed in that shift, and then a little while later, a pass through the seam, and then a great sauce pass, but Cousins just sends it across to Luke Cunningham, and he hits that one, bats it out of the air just before it hits the ice. He gets his paddle on this and just beats Samsonov to the glove.
Yeah, and you hate when this happens, but 35 seconds later, the Predators continue their goal scoring and tie this game up. Fabro with a shot on goal, and Forsberg gets it in front of the net, and it's a tie ball game.
Yeah, it's another face-off win for the Predators, and that seems to be a theme all game long. And Philip Forsberg is one of the greatest puck thieves in the NHL, and great net front guys. Finds another deflection. Excellent work by him to score himself another goal against the Capitals. That's his 8th and 12th game.
Yeah, you always know it's a tough period when all of our Geico highlights happen to be opponents' goals. Well, Slapshot is enjoying this one tonight. We're going to hear from Alexander Alexiev in his NHL debut when he returns. Look at our accurate game stats. The Capitals still with more shots on goal, but just weren't able to capitalize in that second period. Both teams with power play opportunities, but in the big one, Allen, 28% at the face-off dot for the Capitals tonight.
Yeah, and the Caps have also been scored against on one of those face-off losses, so they've really got to figure it out. You know what? You have to have a plan. When you don't win the face-off, they're going to have to plan a little bit better because they got beat cleanly on that last goal.
No doubt about that. Well, Alexander Alexiev making his NHL debut tonight, and a few moments ago, he caught up with Al Koken.
Well, Alex, congratulations on making your NHL debut tonight. Can you take us through what you've experienced these first 40 minutes?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's actually been a really exciting game, a lot of battle, a lot of movements. So we're going to take our keys to success, which is play fast and shoot the pucks.
Yeah, it has been quite a crazy game. So in this third period, do you still want to be as aggressive as you guys have been all night, or do you want to change anything?
Yeah, for sure. We want to play aggressive as first period, move the pucks quick and shoot the puck.
Alex, thanks and congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
Alexiev and Kempny getting in the lineup tonight. What have you seen from him so far in this game?
Well, he's been defensively sound. He's been playing on the right side on his offside, and it doesn't matter where he's left or right. He's been doing a great job defensively, quick movement with the puck, keeping the puck in at the offensive zone blue line. So a lot of positives so far for him. Just keep it simple.
All tied up going into the third period. What do the Capitals need to do to get this win tonight?
Keep it simple and fire the puck at the net. The first period, they had a lot of net front traffic, and there was a race to get there. They got away from that in the second period. They've got to get back to firing the puck and getting bodies to the front of the net.
Fire the puck. Hopefully the Washington Capitals can get the win and snap the 7-game winning streak for the Nashville Predators. We'll get you back to Joe Beninati and Craig Laughlin for third period action.
This has been a seesaw hockey game. 3 in the first for Washington, 3 in the second for Nashville. It's 3-all headed to the third. Friends, on January 16th, the Capitals recognizing the future of our fan base, the kids. Join the Caps for Kids Day, and the first 5,000 kids under 12 receiving a Capitals Pop It fidget toy. For more information, just ask Craig Laughlin or visit watchcaps.com/promotion.
I was going to ask you what that was.
I don't have an idea. But I do know that this is Integrate Intermission Live. Joe and Craig with you from Capital One. We have seen a little bit of everything in this hockey game tonight. What more would you like to see from Washington in the third?
Play within the whistles. Don't do any of the extra stuff after the whistles, even though I love it and the way the guys are playing, the energy and the emotion in this hockey game. I think for the third period, play within the whistles. Let them maybe take a minor penalty that you can win the game on a power play.
Are you whispering into the ear of number 21 in blue tonight? Because when we get a Thompson Creek window of opportunity, we can show you Garnett's been busy.
Talk about a lot of work for under 7 minutes. He draws a penalty. He's the ultimate shift disturber. He leads in hits, leads in face washes, leads in stick to the back of the legs, and he loves it. And he's the ultimate pest. I said in that period, it reminds me a lot about Dale Hunter. Not only because of the way he plays and draws penalty, this is the second one he draws late in that period, but by how much he wants to win and how much he wants to be a team first player. He has given it all here tonight for the Caps.
He has definitely irritated the Predators. It's 3-3 going to period 3 in just a few moments. Insurance has been in Geico's playbook for 85 years. Visit geico.com today to see all the ways you can save. By Mercedes-Benz of Arlington. And by Integrate. One team, one vision. All those pictures telling you it's been a fun and high-scoring hockey game for the faithful inside of Capital One Arena to enjoy. A 3-3 game. Good news for Burke and Herbert Bank, because every goal the Caps score in the regular season, Burke and Herbert donates $100 to a deserving local nonprofit organization. This season, that's Grand Involved, Fairfax, Virginia-based organization placing volunteers in local Title I elementary schools. 8 years in existence for them now, and they are doing wonderful work. As we get set for the third to unfold, it's the NHL on NBC Sports Washington. Joe Beninati, Craig Lachlan up top. Al Koken is your rinkside reporter. Often running in the third with a snapshot from Kuznetsov that's handled easily. UC Saros at that end of the rink. Ilya Samsonov in cage for Washington. Off on the go, Granlund fires. It's blocked by Orlov, and it's out of play.
And this period starts with top line versus top line. The Granlund line versus the Kuznetsov line. A lot of offensive firepower to start this third period.
Alex Ovechkin back to the Washington bench. Ovechkin with a helper in the first period. Sparkling numbers for him in this season, now 32 games old for the Capitals.
Only Draisaitl more goals coming into tonight's action. He's sitting with 23.
Ovechkin started the night third best in the point scoring race. Van Riemsdyk loops this one back to center. That's Dante Fabro on the back pedal, teaming up with the big Ben Harper tonight for the Predators in the white jerseys. This team entering play tonight tied for second in the Central Division. Nashville's done pretty well against the Metro. They're 6-2.
Yeah, it's impressive what they've done, and it's crazy how a 7-0 streak just moves you up like you wouldn't believe. They started the season at 4-4, and people were writing them off. They've won 15 games since going 4-4. Pretty impressive.
Kempny on the clear, looking for Hagelin as this is driven back in by Harper. Washington wearing its third jerseys tonight. Caps slated to be in Detroit Friday. Nashville has a date with the Blue Jackets at Nationwide Arena tomorrow. First of two between these two. The Caps, who've lost their last four in Music City, will be in Nashville in the first week of April at Bridgestone. Ekholm on the reverse, looking for Benning. Getting you caught up to speed. Nashville tallies from Trennan, Cunnin, and Forsberg in the middle frame. Eller, Carlson, and Dowd struck for the locals in the first. Sherry motors his way ahead. A pass that was deflected. Backstrom feeds. Sherry on a backhand as Protas was denied at the top of the paint by Saros.
Yeah, good job by Saros getting that whole shaft of his hockey stick down on the ice and preventing that shot in tight from going up and over him.
Alexei Protas trying on UC Saros for size right here.
Nick Backstrom, nice little feather pass to Connor Sherry, who feathers it down to Protas, who gets a piece of it. Pretty good net coverage there in front, too, by the D, making sure that Protas didn't get all of it. That was Ekholm, who gets a ton of minutes. And obviously, with playing five defensemen most of the game, Borowiecki just got out of the box after serving a 2, 5, and 10.
A point we have referenced throughout the night. Nashville missing its best on the blue line. Roman Josi, who recently entered COVID-19 protocol. This Washington team still minus Anthony Mantha on the injured list, and a host of players in COVID protocol. 3 defenders normally in the lineup for Peter Laviolette and Kevin McCarthy as Oshie hits the brakes. TJ returned from COVID protocol tonight.
And we'll see if they can return any sooner than the 10-day mandatory prior to today, when the NHL, following CDC guidelines, has reduced it to 5 days without symptoms. You can return.
Just shy of the 3-minute mark in the third. Benning there, 4 and 5 in the quarrel, back behind Saros. Eller's involved with Harper. Oshie there as well, trying to kick it loose. Carlson away from Duchesne. Eller was fencing with Harper. Predators come away with a biscuit, and they'll clear. As John Carlson slugs it in, 74 in blue, has a goal and an assist tonight. Mikhail Granlund waiting. He'll pawn it off for Harper, and a control breakout will begin. Alex Ovechkin peeking over top of the cage. Ryan Johansson forced back by Kempny. A little bit of a chess match on this breakout through center. Johansson drives it off a Capital defender. Cleaned up by Van Riemsdyk. Johansson hesitates, then fires. That's straightened up Samsonov, all 6'3" of him.
Yeah, that was a tough save, though, because he had good traffic in front of him. A high shot caught him by surprise.
Kuznetsov working in on the crisscross with Wilson. Kempny joining the offensive flow. Michael Kempny out there, 5-on-5 play. Capitals have had the lion's share of the power plays in this hockey game. But all of their markers in the first at even strength. Kempny will wait for a shift change. Ditto for Nashville. Michael Kempny playing his first NHL game of the season. Dowd dumps it in. Saros threw it back into the pack. Hathaway off of his blades. McCarron and Jeannot there. Dowd drops it off. Alex Alexiev fires. That's deflected. Alexiev making his NHL debut. Former Caps first-round pick. Trenin, who's had a couple of memorable dust-ups with Zdeno Chara on his ledger. One-handed towards the goal from Hathaway, stopped and covered by Saros.
And Hathaway in the middle of things once again, pushing and shoving. A few face washes going both ways with Jeannot and Hathaway. And Jeannot's fought a few times this year, but yeah, for sure he's had a dust-up with, wasn't his first fight ever with Chara?
Jakub Trenin.
Yeah, first fight ever.
Gave him a good one, too. And then the Z responded the last time they met.
Yeah, he did. There's a little pushing and shoving. I said to play within the whistles. This is sort of playing within the whistles, but there's the face wash, the grab around the face. Anything happens around the net. There's a little cross check going both ways.
Jeannot has 9 points in his last 10 games. Garnet Hathaway points in each of his last 3 contests. John Carlson feeds it on back at the line offside against the Capitals.
Yeah, Kuzi knew it. He could have fired that puck because the whistle was late coming, but he elected not to because then all heck would have broke loose. I'm sure if he got that shot away at the whistle, but he knew it. He knew the puck came out completely over the blue line.
Kuznetsov missed 3 games in COVID protocol. Caps without Sprong, Jensen, Schultz, Cholowski, Faravari, and Vanacek in that regard tonight. John Carlson spots Dmitry Orlov. Play it on the headman for Wilson. He was onside. Carrier teaming up with Granlund on the clear. Flying back for the Predators. Duchesne didn't get it deep. Kuznetsov sprinkles it out there for Carlson. Wilson on a nice drop pass. Kuznetsov closing. Back checked well. Forsberg goes one-on-one against Orlov. Philip Forsberg dangles in and fires, had it blocked.
And he was slowing down because he was hoping that Granlund was going to outskate Wilson. And Wilson got back to have Granlund under control. Snuffed out a possible 2-on-1. Good back check by 43.
Orlov waits and clears it in. Locker, Forsberg is listed at 6'1". To me, it looks like he uses a hockey stick for somebody 6'7".
Yeah, he does. He long hockey stick, yeah.
Long reach. Kempny, tap for Sherry. Further to Protas, and he'll clear in. Fabro will turn. Check over the shoulder against Backstrom. 13:45 to go regulation. This is off of the rink.
And that's going to be a minor penalty going against Nashville. The fans know it, the Caps know it, and here comes the power play to get the lead for the good guys.
It'll be the Caps' 5th man advantage on the night in a 3-3 hockey game when you return to DC. Magazine, it's a lifestyle publication produced by the Caps, now available for purchase at the team stores at Capital One Arena and MedStar Caps Iceplex. $19.99. The magazine features exclusive photos, interviews, a feature on head coach Peter Laviolette, even a one-on-one interview with Locker and me. Be sure to pick one up.
Yeah, what about that old picture we had there, huh? That was way back in the day, yeah.
Yes,
I had the mullet going, it looked like.
That's a mullet. 3-3 hockey game, no scoring in this third period up until now. The Capitals on the man advantage, the power play numbers that are powered by Hydro. John Carlson, Yevgeny Kuznetsov, Alex Ovechkin, Nicholas Backstrom, and TJ Oshie, 5 in blue. Carlson will clear it in. Angle shot there from Kuznetsov was stubbed. Oshie lost it. Granlund back the other way, and he'll bomb one in. Ilya Samsonov with 13 stops so far tonight. Saros with 22 at the other end. Backstrom will leave it for Kuznetsov. He'll wheel through center. Kuznetsov angles in, ran into Trennan. Carlson finds Ovechkin. Alex slowing the pace. Backstrom to Kuznetsov. They play catch. Carlson fakes the blast. Ovechkin shanked it there on the one-timer. It was a swing and a miss. Oshie digging in along the boards with Benning. Benning recaptures, has some room, but won't get it out. Carlson behind the back, Ovechkin. Kuznetsov is next. Serve it to Backstrom. Carlson fakes. Ovechkin fires. Armed away by Saros as the Predators clear.
Pretty good job by the Predators keeping everything on the power play to the outside. One good look. That puck was probably going wide on the Ovechkin one-timer. And so far, so good for the PK. The Caps got to unwind this power play.
Home ice power play about 19% effective this season for the Caps. Orlov closing in. Fires. He pumped that one off a defender. Eller spins away from Cunnin. Eller waits. Tap, tap, passing. Saros made a save on Wilson, and he's quick to cover up.
Yeah, that's a good reactionary save there by Saros, making sure he covered the short side and just steps out. Not the biggest of goaltenders, all of 5'11". He's down at. I'm not even sure he's that tall. Here's the play. Sherry, Wilson, boom. And he's got that short side covered nicely. Tight to the post, good body position. Makes it look rather routine. He is a very sharp goaltender. Against the Caps in his career, he's perfect, not one blemish.
For quite a while, he was the understudy to Pekka Rinne. The Predators will retire Rinne's jersey in February, I believe.
And I think you're right. I think he also has the most wins ever by a Finnish goaltender.
Pretty darn good for Saros to learn at his hand. Benning looking to get it out. We're back to 5-on-5 here.
Yeah, the Caps.
Wilson
will be going to the penalty box.
As it's touched up by Sherry, the crowd reacts. A tripping call coming from the referee, Jake Brink.
There's been a lot of players talking to the referee after every single call tonight, and Wilson giving him his fair share. Chirps as the call coming to center ice on the trip.
43, 2 minutes tripping.
And there's the call. Wilson in the box. Here it is, working hard, trying to get the puck. There his sticks upended. Then he works hard against Granlund and just uses a little push there. That's a cheapie. I agree with Wilson. I mean, talk about hard work. Let the boys play. That's not a penalty. I mean, Granlund's not a big man as big as Wilson, but that was absolutely nothing. That is just a penalty, just a payback penalty, an even up call here in the third.
Wilson's penalty minute total still #1 on the Caps, but far below where they might normally be, as these power play numbers are powered by Hydro. Nashville skates 5-on-4 as we near the midway mark of the third. Carrier will advance with Johansson through center. Alex Carrier switching the point of attack. Nice entry for Granlund as Duchesne goes to the front of the goal. That pass clicked off the heels of Johansson. It's sent back through center. Forsberg rewinds. Granlund through the seam, Duchesne. Duchesne feeds, it's knocked away. Good job by Kempny there in the passing lane. And we hear a whistle. And the net off its moorings.
Yep, and the faceoff will come outside because they deemed that the Nashville Predators forward put that off the post there. Carrier driving to the net. Kempny his first action in the National Hockey League this season. Here's that last little play. And there's the hit by TVR, which knocks Carrier into the net, which causes the net to come off. I disagree with this call because it was Van Riemsdyk's hit that forced the player into the post that knocked it off. And to me, it should stay inside. The Caps get a break here.
82 seconds left to kill.
I'm not agreeing with many of the calls, am I?
Not tonight.
No, this is an off night for me or
As
something.
usual, Professor Lachlan has been a very difficult grader.
Yes, I have.
Ryan Johansson through center. Tight quarters there for Forsberg. Makes a neat move. A better one there from Granlund, but help came from Hathaway. Off the boards and out for Eller. Shorthanded for Washington. Eller fakes. Then feeds the front. Wonderful stop by Saros on Hathaway. Keeping this a 3-3 game. Man advantage, 44 more seconds for the Predators. Granlund's posted up on the boards. Johansson on the two-man game. Hagelin will interrupt. Ekholm moves it around. Granlund sends it down low. There's Forsberg. Kept it moving for Granlund. Intercepted by Orlov. Picked off, though, by Johansson. Slot feed deflected away from Samsonov. 20 seconds on the power play for the Predators. This pass deflected by Kuznetsov, and it's out of play.
And a real good stick there by Kuzi. Trying that lateral pass was Johansson ripped off. Here's Hathaway driving the net. Not sure he even get a piece of that, but it was a good setup play by Lars Eller. Here's the shot. There's Hathaway, and yes, indeed, he did. Just the reaching one-handed play. And what a stop by Saros. The Caps think they've got the lead. Celebrating just a little prematurely. What a stop by Saros against Hathaway.
Hathaway, his 7 tallies this season as he makes his way to the Caps dressing room, all of them at even strength. An attempted shorthanded goal there. Dowd's had a decent night, 75% on the face-offs. This is on his strong side. He wins another one on his backhand. 14 seconds left in the sin bin for Wilson. Nice keep in at the point by Cousins. Ekholm moves it. They flood this side. Ekholm works it down low. That centering pass was spoiled by the sliding Irwin. Out of the box, Wilson behind the D. Wilson accelerates in. Forehand, saved by Saros. Another dandy to keep it tied up.
And Wilson wanted a penalty shot. He said it was a lip check, does the referee. Wild action here.
More than halfway home in the third. An exciting conclusion on NBC Sports Washington. Still 3-3 just a few moments ago. Wilson was racing to the goal.
And he was just watching that play. Here's Cousins from behind, the lift check there, and then he loses his balance. I don't think that stick got underneath the right leg. I think the fact that he lifted the stick there, he threw himself off, he lost his edge, and he didn't hit his hands. And that's how the referee deemed a no call. Probably the correct one in that play.
Cousins, whose NHL career began in Philadelphia. Nashville now the 5th different team with which he has worked. Long drive is easy pickings for Saros. He'll paddle it ahead. Yakov Trenin, 24-year-old Russian, plays it along. McCarron sprinting there. Taken to the boards by Irwin. Capitals will send this all the way. Icing washed out with 9 minutes to go, or thereabouts in the third. Trenin digs it loose. Comes barreling back through center. As it's cleared in by Janot. There's a double team crunch put onto Alexiev. Backstrom waltzing with it through center. Cross rink on target. Alexei Protas tries to get it back to 19. Fabro was in the way for the Preds. Eli Tolvanen, dangerous winger, going after Kempny. Tolvanen working with Cunnin and Johansson tonight for head coach John Hines, a former bench boss in New Jersey. Harper comes over to play it. Phil Myers is the healthy scratch on the back end for Nashville tonight, another former Flyer. Harper breezing through center, scuttles it in there and gets the line change. Van Riemsdyk around the base of the boards. There's TJ Oshie. Back in business for the Caps tonight. Oshie, give and go. Eller to the front. Just paddled away by Saros, who's made a couple of sparkling stops in the last few minutes to keep this game tied.
Caps have been pretty good on the rushes. Even at 3-on-3 entering the zone, they're able to create a little bit of an opportunity for themselves. Nice work by TJ on the flank, working that give and go. Give and goes are so important in the game of hockey, and sliding that puck between the stick and the legs of the defender is an art, and 2 of those passes were just like that. Here it is between the defender, then Eller tries to go across to McMichael, doesn't get a shovel on it, and it's picked off by the goaltender.
Oshie has had great fortune against Nashville in his career. Most goals he scored against any opponent, in fact. Tied with Pittsburgh and Tampa are the Predators. Penalty call coming up. With Kuznetsov down, Capital One Arena faithful are pleased.
Yeah, and the Predators aren't. It's going to be a cross check. So here comes the power play.
Nashville penalty number 64. 2-minute minor for cross-checking.
And there's a call. The coach is in disbelief. Sort of been the way all night long. Ryanlund will have a seat, their assistant captain. Here he is working down low against Kuznetsov, and there's the cross-check to the lower back. They're trying to cut down on stick work to the backs of players, especially when they're on the O, on the offensive side of the puck, and that's a good call. That's a call they don't like, but it's the correct one being made.
Earlier tonight, we could see Ovechkin protesting to the referees about that very thing. When are you going to call the cross-checks to the back? Well, 5-on-4 now for the grade 8 and friends. Carlson straight away sweeps it for Ovechkin. Seam pass. Calmed down there by Kuznetsov. Through the seam again, looking for Ovechkin. It was deflected. Ekholm in front of his fellow Swede Backstrom. He'll clear.
The power play has been a problem tonight. And there, you just turn the puck over. You have a lot of time. They're playing very passive. They're pushing you down to the corner, but they're very passive until the puck gets bouncing. The Caps got to make shorter passes.
This pass deflected at the line turns out to be offside against the Caps.
Yeah, it's a good read by the penalty killers, holding the line just long enough to get the stick over the blue line to knock it out. Most power play goals in NHL history. That's what we're waiting for. Tied with Dave Andrechuk. Brett Hull's already been passed. We'll see if he can break it here.
5 of Ovechkin's 22 goals this season have been PPGs. 3-3 deadlock. All the scoring in the first 2 frames. Kuznetsov and the Caps jumped out to a 3-0 advantage. Nashville reeled them in with 3 of their own in the second. 1:08 on the power play for Backstrom, advancing with Kuznetsov. He powers his way in. Great feed. Oshie, one more to the front. Sprawling Saros. Magnificent on Kuznetsov. Ovechkin fires. Stopped by Saros again. Carlson. Outside Backstrom. Carlson away from the pressure of Trennan. Backstrom lets it go. Stopped by Saros, and he'll cover. UC Saros has made 3 sparklers in this third.
And Kuznetsov can't believe it. He thought he had the open net, but the right pad saves the bacon in Nashville. There's a pass across. You'll see Kuzi gets it. He fires it towards the net. It's the stick and the right pad. Look at the stick. Just knock it away. He was going to the butterfly, utilized the stick to keep that puck out of the net. Great athleticism, keeps his game knotted at 3.
Kuznetsov's lone power play goal this season came in Detroit. The Caps will be there on Friday. They're scheduled to play the Red Wings at Little Caesars. Nashville gets right on board a plane to get to the capital city of Ohio. They get the Blue Jackets tomorrow. David Riddick is the backup for Saros. Phoenix Copley backing up Ilya Samsonov tonight with Vitek Vanacek in COVID protocol. Orlov fakes, Ovechkin fires, it's off the outside of the cage. McCarron in
another penalty
battle.
could go against the Caps.
And this one spotted by the referee Luxmore is a trip.
Yep, and the Caps are going to be in disbelief. It's going to be against Connor Sherry down low. It's been just an onslaught of guys going to the penalty box.
73, 2-minute minor, trip.
And there's the call. They'll have 34 seconds of 4-on-4. Caps 0 for 6 on the power play so far, and they have fired 12 shots. Here's a look at the play down low. There's the deflect. There's Wilson. It looked like he got the trip there, and that's why Sherry was a disbeliever. They got the wrong guy. It's Wilson right there on Carrier. Sherry's a disbeliever, and he shouldn't even be in the penalty box.
6:16 left. Sherry, case of mistaken identity, winds up.
They're going to talk
the
because that's what Hines is telling them. I think he's telling him that it wasn't Connor Sherry.
He'd prefer Wilson to be in there.
Absolutely.
Tom is an outstanding penalty killer, not that Connor isn't.
That's what they're discussing.
Shots on goal are 34-16 in favor of Washington. Sherry is now coming out of the box.
Now they're coming over to take Wilson to the box. And so he's talking to Laviolette now, and Laviolette will have to be discussed with by the official once again. There's been a lot of discussions at each bench here tonight with the referees making their calls.
Laviolette, 248 wins as a head coach in Nashville.
They got it right. It was definitely Tom Wilson.
4-on-4 for a half a minute. Samsonov with a glove save, and he'll take no chances. Very entertaining hockey game winding its way to a conclusion. 6:11 left inside of Capital One Arena. Just past the bottom of the hour with the NHL on NBC Sports Washington. John Carlson out there to do a lot of the heavy lifting, you would think soon enough when the Caps are a man down.
Yeah, Carlson's already played over 22 minutes in this hockey game.
John has the puck around for Dmitry Orlov tonight. Carlson without his normal defensive partner Martin Ferivari on COVID protocol. Carlson drags it on back for Oshie. Forced away by Tolvanen. 10 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Then the abbreviated Nashville man advantage. John Carlson cross rink deflected. Janot was in the way. Kuznetsov playing hide and seek with Carrier. Kuznetsov walks it, gets an angle, and scores! Yevgeny Kuznetsov!
A surprise attack shorthanded by Evgeny Kuznetsov. I thought he might have pulled out maybe the old lacrosse play the way he was working behind the net. Here it is. Now he steps out. Forsberg takes his guy and just a quick looking shot. And it beats the goaltender Saros short side. Here it is one more time. Here comes Kuznetsov. We've seen that accurate shot before. He's so deadly on the sharp angle. Kuznetsov has given the Caps a 4-3 lead. They need to do some repairs on Saros' left post. That's what the referee is waiting for. He's waiting for a new peg to put in. They'll have to readjust the net because as he pushed across, he blew that peg right out of the net. And that's why they're coming out for repairs. What a shot by Kuznetsov.
The Capitals with 5 shorthanded goals this season, 2 of them from number 92. Kuznetsov earlier shorthanded goal in this building against Calgary.
Most he's ever played shorthanded is this season. Here he comes out. Good job by John Carlson. By the way, what's he doing way down there on the penalty kill? But there it is. Into the top corner it goes, and the Caps have their lead.
Kuznetsov into double figures, 10 tallies on the season, and now 5:36 to play in the third period. And Nashville with 80 seconds of power play time. The spillover on the minor to Tom Wilson. Saros, who was fantastic time after time, finally breaks, and the fans serenade Yevgeny Kuznetsov in a 4-3 lead.
The second Cap with 10 or more goals now. Kuzi has 10, Ovi up over 20. The 2 guys in double digits.
John Carlson has a 3-point game, a goal and 2 assists. Oshie picked up a helper as well. On that shorty, it's 4-3. Carrier will advance. Going coast to coast against Van Riemsdyk. Sends it along the backboards. Hagelin there first, and he will clear. Carrier starts it back. 45 seconds left on a Nashville man advantage. Bad pass. Kempny clears.
That was because of the defense in the neutral zone. They surprised the Nashville Predators. Carrier coming up the ice. An errant pass, and it's an easy clear by the PKers.
Duchesne on the headman for Forsberg. Play it out wide. Walking in now for Johansson. He'll leave it in back. Ekholm at point position. Johansson feeds. Duchesne swivels to the corner. 15 seconds in the man advantage. Johansson digging in. Van Riemsdyk there. Ekholm playing the spot normally occupied by Roman Josi. Out of the lineup tonight due to COVID protocol. 2 seconds, now 1. Wilson up and out of the penalty box. Caps back even. 5-on-5, 4-3 leaders, 4 minutes to go in the third. Wilson butts into Ekholm. Eller feeds it for Ovechkin, twisting and firing. Had that one erased by Cunnin. On the go through center, Cousins 3-on-3 on the overlap, offside against Nashville. With 3:54 to go. The Capitals had the advantage down the stretch thanks to Yevgeny Kuznetsov. 92 takes flights inside of Capital One. Alexa and Allen, 5 other games going on tonight. They'd be hard-pressed to equal this one for excitement. It's 4-3 Washington. We look forward to your thoughts with Caps Postgame Live, presented by your DC area Acura dealers. A Nashville team that has a 7-game win streak. They had won 7 straight when things were shut down after the December 17th win at Chicago.
Now they're 7-game winners of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Bruce Boudreau has the Canucks flying. He's got a 6-game going for themselves.
Snapshot from McCarron's deflected. Capitals sorting things out in the D zone. The former Predator there, Matt Irwin, using the glass to get it on. Nice catch by Oshie. Oshie off the head fake, looks for the trailer. Backstrom lets it go. Saros had the angle.
That's a nice little play there by TJ. Good shot by Nicky.
Folks, earlier, PenFed trivia. Name the Cap who scored his first 2 goals as a Cap the last time the Caps beat the Preds. I wrote down Mike Richards and Daniel Winnick.
I'm going with Daniel Winnick.
Really?
I remember that.
You know, hey, look at you.
There you go. Good job, buddy. Mike Richards you mentioned, huh?
That's about that right. Mike Richards'
yeah,
time.
Yeah, you're right.
15-16 season. Scoring chances aplenty in this hockey game.
John Hines complaining that he didn't get their center that he wanted out here, and the referee going over and saying, nope, you can't have Johansson on the ice.
Equipment manager there helping Ekholm lace up for the final 3:20 of regulation time. 4-3 in favor of Washington.
And dominating in shots here in the third after that second period that they allowed 3 goals, outshooting the Predators 14-3.
Cunnin will drop it in back behind Samsonov. 3 minutes to go in the third. We'll keep our eyes on Saros, see when Coach Hines will lift him for the extra attacker. John Carlson on a 3-point night. A goal and 2 assists for 74 in blue. Gets it back to center. Fabro giving some ground. Dante Fabro, 2 times a member of the Canadian World Junior team, and we were saddened to hear about the World Juniors being canceled earlier in the day.
Yeah, we sure are. It's a great stage for these kids. A lot of them looking to be drafted to have a chance to see all the scouts.
Saros to the bench, 6 attackers on. Ekholm waits. 6-on-5 in white, long drive, a bullet that goes wide of the net. With 2:15 to play, Johansson around to Forsberg. Granlund is parked in front. Duchesne is there in close quarters with Granlund. Duchesne absorbing a hit from Kempny. Carrier straightaway, wrister, pad stop. Loose in front, not clear. Carrier fires again, deflected by Duchesne and wide. Van Riemsdyk waiting for that one to land. Same for Kempny. Puck along the boards. Matthias Ekholm with Carrier. That was outside the line. Offside against Nashville.
I think it was the fans that called that whistle there. Carrier knew it, but I think the fans even saw it from upstairs and all around here. Seller to Capital One Arena once again. John Hines will use his timeout here. The Caps have already utilized that earlier on in the hockey game.
UC Saros, as you see, getting back to his goal crease. John Hines gave the timeout signal and is now going to get it. and gather the boys around.
Saros has kept them in the game. The Caps have fired 36 pucks his way, and he has been terrific. He's been the game changer. Could have been a blowout early on, especially.
A marvelous stop that he made on Kuznetsov just moments prior to the Kuznetsov shorthanded goal that has lifted Washington to the lead. A Nashville team that's allowed the fewest goals of any squad in the Central Division. Vested for 4 tonight. At this moment, Scott Arniel, assistant coach there for the Caps, going through the defensive paces for Washington. Someone throw a net over that man. Philip Forsberg's going to start on the bench.
Yep, to go out for the goalie.
Ryan Johansson, opposite of Nick Dowd. Dowd on the season, right at 49%, but he's been way better than that, as you can tell tonight. Face-off control for the Caps. Orlov turns the cage. Dmitry Orlov skipping one back to center. One-on-one. Hagelin almost got behind the D there. Strong recovery from Ryan Johansson. Hathaway, who's been a buzzsaw tonight. Garnet Hathaway pinned along the boards. He doesn't mind, though. 80 seconds left.
That little play down low just killed off 12 seconds of their chance to come back.
Saros making his way towards the bench. Johansson on the entry. Turned back by Dowd. Around for Carlson. It squirts loose. Orlov there for Washington. Clearing it ahead. Hagelin with the empty net waiting. Waltzes in and scores.
Well deserved for Carl Hagelin. He's had an excellent hockey game, and John Carlson might get another point here. Looked like he poked the puck up the ice to allow the Orlov play to just chip it up front. Carlson might have started it to Orlov, then to Hagelin. We'll see if he gets credit for an assist. That would be a 4-point night, but just well executed, breakaway, and Hags just puts it in. The Caps 5-3 here with just over a minute to go.
Hagelin, like Carlson, had never tallied against Nashville in his career. We get into the McNugget minute. That goal came at 18:57, folks, so no Nuggets yet. As Saros spins it on around. Fabro moving it ahead. Trennan on the go. Snapshot on the way, kicked out of there by Ilya Samsonov. 35 seconds left in regulation. Saros is in the cage. It's 5-on-5. There's a delayed penalty call coming up. There is a penalty call coming. It's a cross-check.
And Wilson's ready to go.
With McCarron.
Yeah. And McCarron's going to take the minor penalty, but Wilson ready to go with him. Wilson getting involved with the linesman and anybody around in white. Harper trying to step in. It's been that type of game here. I can't wait till the next game that these guys meet. This is going to be great.
They continue to jaw at one another. They'll have a few months to let the memory fade. They don't see each other again till April 2.
There's the hit. McCarron on Wilson. And a cross-check upcoming. Wilson goes after McCarron. They were thinking about dropping the mitts. And it's going to be a cross-checking minor. The Caps will go to the PK here.
Wilson's night is through. Making his way down the tunnel.
Yeah, McCarron, a pretty decent hit against Wilson that Wilson took exception to. That was not the penalty. It was prior to that with Kempney, where the cross-check to the lower back. So the goalie, I know now, will be pulled. Why not? It's going to be a 5-on-4 with 28.5 to go.
John Carlson's second career 4-point game.
Yeah, it's a beauty. Helped set up that last one. Scored a beautiful wrist shot over the catching mitt. And he's the assist meister. No one has done it better over the last decade than John Carlson.
3-0 Washington after one. Nashville rallied with all three in the second. So it was a 20-minute hockey game, and the Caps, thanks to goals in the third period from Kuznetsov and Hagelin, have the lead. Carl Hagelin's second of the season. He had struck earlier this season here against Anaheim. 28 seconds away for Washington. Duchesne enters the zone with Forsberg. The Washington Capitals, a team that had lost 8 straight to Nashville, entering play tonight. Carrier walks it ahead, finds Johansson as the Capital One faithful rise to their feet. Granlund fires, that's deflected. Sharp angle, Samsonov covers, and the misery against the Predators comes to its end. A 5-3 Washington win.
A hard-fought hockey game. Man, did they ever have the energy tonight, both these hockey teams. If you love the game, you're going to love this game. Didn't matter how it ended up. It was a hard-fought, in-your-face hockey game because Netsov will get the game winner, his 4th shorthanded goal of his career.
Ilya Samsonov and the Capitals improving to 19-6-7 with this victory tonight, earned in the 3rd period. John Carlson contributing mightily to the win as the Caps wave hello and goodbye at the same time. Samsonov, another victory. Joe and Craig with you here at Capital One Arena. A really good hockey game that we're about to dissect as we cross over. Brought to you by WebEx, by Cisco.